I am concerned about the Great Resignation. And if you're not concerned about it and you wait, then you probably are going to be a victim in a big way. So we're trying to get ahead of it. We are, thinking about it in 3 different buckets, which is, wages, pay, benefits, and then opportunities for growth and development. We're just trying to keep it as simple as possible and just think about what we have in each of those baskets currently and what we can do to, ensure that we're as competitive as we need to be in those 3 different areas. So those are the conversations that we're having on a daily basis. And we've got a lot of different ideas teed up and some really creative things that, we'll kind of choose from to try to tackle this, because it's not going to be a silver bullet. People all want different things from work. So to the extent we can round it out and comprehensively look at it from a total rewards perspective, I think the better off we'll be.
I'll just piggyback on what Lindsay said. I think that all our organizations are going to have a rude awakening, because I think people have soul searched a lot. It's going to happen. I can see in my own house how that's playing out with my spouse and the decisions she's trying to make. So that's close to me. I walk out to my neighbors and they're talking about it. You don't need like a lot of data to research this. I have friends calling me randomly saying, "Hey, I know you're good at this stuff. Can we think this through?" The frequency has increased and it's very interesting. People are soul searching. So that's my private research on Rose Bay Court in Trophy Club. Okay. Um, on the larger spectrum, I have a business view that all our organizations have not been operating at optimal levels. If any of my peers say yes to that, then I'll have to go check out their place. But we have opportunities as business. We have not been able to invest in the right things. We have taken we've invested in different priorities. So what I'm doing with my team is taking an end-to-end look at the business and looking at the heat map of what's red, what's orange, and what's green, and going to the executive team and saying, I want to invest in these areas. So I asked 3 questions that people can look at it from a people's perspective. Pay me, invest in me, and grow me. Are those 3 areas at a red, green, or orange? And you take the money you have, you take the time you have, and you have to make those investments, even without worrying about the great resignation, because the great resignation happens because of those 3 things. And the other one is you got to double down on your communication. This is not the time to slow down your communication. This is the time to double on your communication, increase empathy, and then you got to investigate your culture. Is your culture rich? We have a work-life balance issue. I think everybody says, hey, it's a fast-paced company, so a work-life balance issue makes sense. But I had to convince our team that that is going to be a decision people are going to make when they have options. And I know, Stephen, you have helped me with this. I have now put work-life balance on the executive KPIs for the bonuses, because we are going to get rewarded or penalized based on how our people feel. That was radical for our team, but I am a concern about the great resignation, but we need to get back to the basics.
Yeah, I think those viewpoints are spot on. Very similar approach that Kush was taking as well. I think we are in the middle of a merger with Green Lane Holdings, and so that has brought a lot of certainty already upon uncertain times, right? So with the announcement of that, I would say both organizations did see an uptick in attrition, which we expected it. I would say think we were a little caught off guard at kind of the accelerated rate versus the let's get through some of the people planning and make those conversations known and really kind of address the org holistically. So I would say spot on. We're looking at it from a holistic total rewards perspective. We've also been doing a lot more hands-on with our managers. Get to know your people. We are all motivated by different things. So what makes that one in particular individual tick? And let's really get to kind of that root cause so that we can, increase our success of having that individual stay, on Team Kush, hopefully in the pro forma organization. We do a lot of surveys. Our employees are like, please stop surveying. But I feel like if we take our, pedal off the gas, we're going to miss out because we're going to miss that thing that suddenly has changed. So they can continue to be annoyed at me. I'm going to continue to pulse check because we've seen some shifts in the data, and that's allowed us to really react quickly versus, maybe solely relying on that manager to bubble it back up to us. And I wholeheartedly agree. We have doubled down on communications, and we're not going to stop.
Yeah, everything everyone said really resonates with me. I think the only kind of additional point to make that echoes the piece about communication is we have a monthly managers meeting, and the feedback that we continue to get, especially since we are all remote right now in these times, really working with the comms team to say, we're only having directors and above in this meeting, right? We expect that they then disseminate the information to their staff so that they can understand what's going on, the progress that we're making, what our strategy is. And the strategy for us is a big one, especially with kind of the transformation that we've been going through over the last couple of years. And we can't expect every leader to be able to decipher 30 slides and appropriately, communicate that to their team. So we are starting next month now. The comms team will provide talking points when we share that deck so that, again, that it helps facilitate that communication. So it doesn't matter if directors and above know what's going on in the organization. Like, everyone has to feel confident. Everyone has to be bought into the strategy to know where we're going.